1490 Sports Betting Radio welcomes you to Back Your Play with Q. Live from the studios of Longport Media, here is your host, Rich Quinones.
Good afternoon, everyone. 4 o'clock straight up, a Tuesday edition of Back Your Play, coming at you live inside the friendly confines of the AM 1490 Sports Betting Radio studios. I am your host, as always, Rich Quinones. 2 hours to play with. We will take you up to 6 o'clock straight up. My guy Tyler on the other side of the glass, producing the show, keeping us on the air on this 31st of August, 2021. Don't forget the 609-445-1490. That'll get you involved in 2A Sports Talk. Bring something to the table. Tweet at us at Rich Q on Q at 1490 Sports Bet. Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me? I mean, as if we thought we were going to have nothing to talk about in the world of sports. These are the types of days when you do this for a living that you live for, because there is just madness abound on this Tuesday afternoon. Absolutely. We got players getting cut, players getting released, players about to get traded, players might retire. We got disgruntled players want to leave town. So not only do we have the NFL right around the corner, but we get a little NBA hoops news. By the way, Kai Carlin, our Sixers insider, is going to join us in about 15 or so minutes with this revelation that Ben Simmons has decided, you know what? The hell with the Philadelphia 76ers. I no longer want to be here. I'm not going to report to training camp. I got news for you. Ben Simmons, I don't really think at this moment Sixers fans care. You can just ride off, go ahead, and be that quitter, because that's exactly what you're doing right now. You have flat out, Ben Simmons hasn't even put up a fight. This guy has shown you he's got zero heart, zero guts, zero moxie. He's got no stones, and he's deciding, I'm going to take my little ball and I'm going to get off the blacktop and I'm going to go home. That's exactly what he is showing. No guts, not even willing to fight and show the Sixers and the organization and the fan base that, you know what, I can be a winner. I can be a star player in Philadelphia. Nope. Soft as friggin' Charmin is Ben Simmons. Ridiculously soft. How in the world are you going to sit there? Why? Because it's not going your way? Is that what we do now? It's not going your way? Are you going to tell me Ben Simmons is going to play the victim here? Is that what you're going to try to sell me on? I no longer want to be a part of what you guys are trying to do. Why? Because I realize I just can't make it. I just can't hack it. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take the easy way out. And I'm going to take my ball and I'm going to go home. And let me go to a small market club. Let me not worry about the scrutiny, the media, the fan base. Let me not worry about having to get along to go along with the big man. Or I don't want to worry about the coach anymore telling me, you know, I have to get my jump shot going. I have to be more assertive. I don't want the fan base to question me because I won't make a little bunny. I won't shoot it from beyond the arc. I won't be engaged. I won't have the gumption to try to drive and utilize my 6'11" frame. Oh, but hold on a second. But I digress for one moment. Because wasn't it in a Game 5, a 2-for-4 Ben Simmons in 38 minutes for 8 points? 4 for 14, by the way, from the free throw line in a game in which the Sixers lost to the Hawks by 3. Oh, well, wait a second. Wasn't it in a Game 6 in 25 minutes, Ben Simmons, 6 points? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me just double check. Let me do my math correct. Let me go back in a little history for a second. Was it not in a Game 7 have to have at home Everything on the line. In 36 minutes of play, Ben Simmons finishes with 5 points. And I don't want to hear the 13 assists and 8 rebounds. 5 points. 5 points. And he got to the line twice. I mean, folks, get the hell out of town. Seriously. Get out. Go ahead. Go. See ya. I know a lot of people that'll probably call for a taxi, grab you an Uber. They'll drive you off to the parkway to the airport. I mean, now you got villain number one now. You can't make this kind of stuff up. I mean, this is gutless. Look, he's not a good fit at this moment. We know that, right? Perception is everything. And if these reports are true, and he doesn't want to report and he wants out, it's a horrible look. And if you're the Philadelphia 76ers, what are you going to do? You already acknowledge you tried to move him. But at this point, do you just want a guy that's not going to give you 100%? I wouldn't. I mean, so what's the problem here? Why? Because the Sixers were looking at James Harden? Because the Sixers were trying to better their team? They tried to trade him. So that was the last straw? Well, what about your inability to show up in the fourth quarter or in the playoffs? Just gutless by Ben Simmons. Really, it is. So you got the Sixers news floating out there. Because why not? The Sixers have to do something when you have NFL cuts. They got to jump into the fray. And then we turn around, and now there's a report, talk about another disgruntled player who might be on his way out, and that's Zach Ertz. So the hits just keep on coming. And this is a move that Johnny Mack, who, by the way, is dealing with a lot of the roster cut downs, dealing with Howie Roseman and the Eagles and whatnot, he will try to jump on today. If not a problem. We will definitely have Johnny Mack tomorrow, Lloyd Vance in the 5 o'clock hour. Eagles have been trying to move Zach Ertz for how long now? So it looks like the Bills, who have released Jacob Hollister, are going to be in play for Zach Ertz. So the players right now that they've released, Andrew Adams, Clark, Howard, Hassan Ridgeway, Richard Rodgers, Kavor Seymour, those are released. And then there's a boatload of players that have been waived, including Travis Fulgham, who it just never panned out. You got Cam Newton released by the Patriots, by the hoodie and the Pats, which tells you Jones was going to be the starter all along. You've got Watson now out there floating around potentially for a move to the Dolphins, which, again, the reports going back and forth, and I'll back Charles Robinson because he's one of the best out there. So you got countdown day in the NFL. Oh, I didn't even get to the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles signed Gardner Minshew. Let us not forget about that. Right? What does that tell you? Maybe he pushes Hurts a little bit because we know Flacco can't play anymore, and we know Mullins hasn't recovered from that injury he sustained with the 49ers. So that's kind of it in a nutshell on a Tuesday. We haven't even gotten to baseball. I mean, I haven't even touched on what's going on in baseball. Because if you're a Philadelphia Phillies fan, if you're watching what's going on in this NL East, the Phillies they just want to tease you. The Mets are done. Thumbs up, thumbs down. The Mets are done. They're done. They're cooked. They're fried. See ya. But the Phillies are still hanging around. All of a sudden, boom, they won 4 in a row. All of a sudden, boom, they're 3.5 back in the NL East. My Yankees have cooled off substantially in the AL East. So we'll mix in a little baseball today as well. We'll give you some plays. But that's where we sit on a very, very busy Tuesday right here on AM 1490 Sports Betting Radio. This Simmons news is not a bombshell. It's not. It's not like this all of a sudden. I mean, folks, we knew that he was dissatisfied, not happy, a malcontent, right? We kind of knew all that. But the fact that he is actually going out of his way and he's basically saying, to heck with this nonsense. I mean, look, he's as talented as they come. This is a discussion that I've had on the air with Kai, with Corey Parsons, Jonathan Marshall. No one's disputing his talent, but he's got a ton of issues. He's got a ton of shortcomings on the offensive side. And it goes back to the fact, and people don't want to hear this, but it's simple, man. It is flat out simple. This guy, his reluctance to shoot the basketball. That is it in a nutshell. He just doesn't want to shoot. So you look at the size, you can look at the wingspan, you can look at the handle, the rock, the dribble, the defense, everything you want. But at the end of the day, ultimately, he will not shoot the ball. He just won't do it. And instead of sitting there and trying to fight, scratch, and claw, and I will be honest, because I don't want to sound like I'm contradicting myself from where we started today, he's not going to change. But I would have liked to saw a little fight in him. You know, let me show these guys that I want to play. I can be a great player. I can be all NBA defensive team. I can be an all-star. I can help get them to where they need to go. He's not willing to do that. So he's showing you right there he is soft and thin-skinned, and he's not meant to be a Philadelphia 76er. He's not meant to play in this market. He's just not. He's not. Go play in the Midwest. Go play somewhere where you don't have to worry about the scrutiny from the fans and the media. All right, 15 past the 4 o'clock hour, just cranking up on a Tuesday. Very busy show. A lot of stuff to dive into today. Kai Carlin, our Sixers insider. We'll squeeze him on for a couple minutes on the other side, get his thoughts on this, and we'll talk about the state of the Sixers as well. And we got so much NFL to get into. You got Minshew with the Eagles. You got Ertz on the block. Fulgham being released. You got countdown day in the NFL. You got Cam Newton released. You have young quarterbacks that have already been ascended to starters in the NFL. How's that going to affect the way you bet with week 1 right around the corner? And we're going to dive into it all. Keep it locked in. 16 past the 4 o'clock hour on a Tuesday edition of Back Your Play, coming at you live inside the friendly confines of the AM 1490 Sports Betting Radio studios, of course, right here, South Jersey sports leader. Keep us locked in. We'll take you up to 6 o'clock straight up.